Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The CNMI is on its 8th month of public health emergency. Also tonight, the numbers continue to rise in positive COVID-19 in the CNMI. And the Senate wraps up their budget proposal for this upcoming fiscal year. We have the details. In sports, social distancing impacts even underwater fishing these days. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
Great customer rep, always willing to go above and beyond for his customers.
I truly hope she gets noticed at work, since I do see she is a hard worker.
The field technician that visited my home was great and helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. You really keep it up.
Your customer service is always very good.
Awesome customer service with great technicians that are really helpful.
Thank you so much, Sherlyn and Docomo Pacific.
That's so sweet. Feels good to see this kind of messages because we try our best to do customer service.
We make sure that we will 100% resolve the issues.
For all those people that are seeking assistance.
I just want my customers happy
and help them out each and every day.
I would want to go to a place with someone that's just like me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come to Docomo and you'll feel like you're at home.
For all those going out each day, doing what they can to hold us all together, we're here to help those helping us all by keeping our lights on.
Buy one, get one free for the off-road adventure at Mariana's Trekking. Come ride our side-by-sides at our best price ever and experience a great 90-minute trail ride. Rain or shine, hopefully rain. Book now at Mariana's Trekking. Saturdays and Sundays by reservation. Call 323-8735 or book at marianastrekking.com.
Hafa Day Tiruwami and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, September 14th, 2020. The CNMI continues to remain under state of public health emergency. On Sunday, September 13th, Governor Ralph Torres renewed 2 executive orders that declares the CNMI to be under state of public health emergency for another 30 days. The order states that COVID-19 continues to pose a threat to the community, and thus emergency declarations are necessary to respond, quarantine, and ensure the prevention or containment of the virus on our islands. Bail modification is denied for a male that allegedly strangled his wife. 35-year-old Lee Guangchao is charged with count 1 of assault, domestic violence, count 2 disturbing the peace, count 3 assault and battery, and count 4 strangulation. According to court documents, on Saturday, September 12th, DPS Central received a cutoff call from a female screaming for help. Officers were dispatched to Alahai Avenue by Bank of Guam. Upon arrival, officers located the female at Vision 21 Apartments, where she could be heard screaming from one of the rooms. The female informed officers that Guangchao is her husband, but they have been separated for a year. She said that Guan Chao called the victim to the apartment to unlock his phone. After going through the device, Guan Chao allegedly grabbed the female victim and stated if she had another man, he would, quote, kill her, where he then proceeded to wrap his hands around the victim's neck, holding her to the ground. Another individual in the apartment separated the two right before police showed up. Guan Chao was arrested and taken for COVID-19 clearance before getting booked and detained at the Department of Corrections. Bail remains at $10,000. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for September 23rd at 10 a.m. A crew member aboard a Matson shipping vessel was found dead inbound to Guam traveling from Palau and was transported to Saipan. According to the Department of Public Safety, on Thursday, September 10th, CNMI DPS received a call through radio reporting a deceased individual on the incoming vessel. DPS interviewed the captain and crew that stated on Tuesday, September 8th, the captain noticed a crew member lying on the floor of one of the rooms. Upon finding no pulse and no breathing, he began chest compressions. With no response, the crew and captain left the deceased individual in the room until arriving to Guam. The vessel arrived at the Guam seaport Wednesday, September 9th, where GPD, Customs, the Coast Guard, Guam Fire Department, and CDC were notified. Personnel from the Guam COVID-19 Task Force came aboard and tested the deceased individual for the coronavirus, where the results came back negative. The body was bagged and placed in a refrigerated container before proceeding to Saipan. The vessel, along with the body, arrived on Saipan Thursday morning. The only documents provided to authorities upon arrival were the negative COVID results. No time of death or cause. DPS Public Information Officer Adrian Pangilinan states officials from the police office will be investigating the incident. No name has been released at this time. A preliminary hearing is waived today in Superior Court for a male arrested for unlawful discharge of a firearm. On August 27th, DPS officers were called to the village of San Jose on reports of a gunfire incident. The caller informed officers their friend Don Pangilinan Sanchez Jr. had been shot in the leg by someone in a vehicle driving by. Sanchez was bleeding from his left thigh and was transported to CHCC. But after speaking to witnesses at the scene, officers learned the incident was self-inflicted due to an accidental discharge of a handgun pistol. On September 4th, Judge Teresa Kim Tenorio issued an arrest warrant for Sanchez on charges of unlawful discharge of a firearm, storage of a firearm, person permitted to process ammunition, and firearm owner's identification card requirement. Sanchez was arrested on September 7th after DPS officers, along with the Rapid Response Team, found Sanchez in his vehicle in the village of San Antonio. Bail was set at $30,000. A status conference is scheduled for Tuesday, September 15th at 1 p.m. in the courtroom of Judge Teresa Kim Tenorio. One new positive COVID-19 case was confirmed over the weekend, bringing the total to 60 cases in the CNMI since March. The individual was confirmed positive through testing upon arrival on Saturday's flight. The individual was placed in the designated isolation site at Kanoa, and contact tracing has been initiated. Of the 60 confirmed cases in the CNMI, 34 have been identified through port of entry screening, 10 cases have been identified as community contact, and 16 cases identified as a known contact. There is 2 weeks left before the end of fiscal year 2020. Our Sally Lemus heads up to legislature to give us a budget update.
Members of the Senate will be meeting this week to finalize their fiscal year 2021 budget proposal. Chairman of Fiscal Affairs Senator Jude Hofschneider says this year's budget process is challenging.
Remember that the MBA, they usually get at least $15 million a year from the special funds they call the hotel occupancy tax, HOT. So, but because of the closure of the border, in terms of closure of there's no tourists coming in. There's at least an 85 to 90% reduction in that projection. So, go figure. So that's a big vacuum that it created. And I believe if from last year's projection to this year, it's approximately 100 million less.
The committee is looking at maximizing two resources of funds.
We're carefully looking at all the revenues, both on the the concurrent resolution, as well as the revolving funds or revolving accounts of each entity, plus the earmarks. So we are carefully scrutinizing those figures to hopefully be able to fund some of the needed programs, such as Medicaid, CHCC by way of medical referral, and of course PSS.
According to Hofschneider, revolving funds are something that is important.
The bigger agencies, like especially the DFEMS and DPS, they are qualified to be not only funded locally, but they're also being funded with a cost share mechanism with grants. Also, same token with DFEMS. But with DFEMS also, they do have a substantial amount in their revolving fund that they can use, that they're using for their operations. So that's key, because if they have that, and then you're requesting additional authorization or expense from the general fund or budget from the general fund, we are monitoring, and not necessarily monitoring, but we're taking a look at that scenario. Some entities and instrumentalities don't have that ability to do just that. So, we're looking at it in totality.
Hofschneider says the committee stays hopeful to meet all the recommendations from the administration given this year's projection.
I'm going to request that we're going to put a provision in the budget that we're going to have a quarterly meeting with the administration, other than the monthly reporting, to make sure that it guides also the legislature about the health of the collections, because that would also give us time to prepare in the event that we need to adjust downward. We hope that we don't adjust downward, but given the forecast that we have, I'm not certain when does the borders going to open. I mean, the tourism industry, when are they going to come back? And that's huge.
The Senate and House of Representatives must bring a new fiscal year budget to the governor before October 1. I'm Sally Limas for KSPN News.
Coming up, GOP candidates share their thoughts on a two-party system in the CNMI. Stay tuned.
Students get smart savings at IT&E with free selected Samsung Galaxy phones and awesome discounts on plans. Get the Samsung Galaxy A7 I for free and 10 gigs of 4G LTE data for just $45 a month. Choose the Samsung Galaxy A11 for free and 5 gigs of 4G LTE data for just $27 a month. Or browse our entire selection of phones and plans and still get a 10% discount on any monthly plan. Go to ite.net for details.
Jose and Pedro were born on the very same day. Jose liked to play sports. Pedro liked to play video games. Jose's favorite word was pass. Pass me the ball. Pedro's favorite word was pass too. Pass me the rice. Jose is retired and has both time and energy. His life is just beginning. Pedro has diabetes, hypertension, and gout. His life could soon end. Eat less, play more, live longer. Brought to you by PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
All workers have the right to a safe workplace. Employers must provide a workplace that is free from recognized hazards and comply with applicable OSHA standards, including proper reporting of injuries. Training needs to be done in a language and vocabulary employees can understand, and an OSHA information poster must be displayed prominently in the workplace. Workers, you have the right to raise a safety or health concern with your employer or OSHA without being retaliated against, and request an OSHA consultation of your workplace if you believe there are unsafe or unhealthy conditions. OSHA can help. Free assistance to identify and correct hazards is available to small and medium-sized employers without citation or penalty. So look out, speak up, and stay safe. Job safety and health, it's not only good practice, it's the law. Check out OSHA.gov or call 664-3154 or 3155.
Students Students get smart savings at IT&E with free selected Samsung Galaxy phones and awesome discounts on plans. Get the Samsung Galaxy A7 I for free and 10 gigs of 4G LTE data for just $45 a month. Choose the Samsung Galaxy A11 for free and 5 gigs of 4G LTE data for just $27 a month. Or browse our entire selection of phones and plans and still get a 10% discount on any monthly plan. Go to ite.net for details.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The CNMI Bureau of Motor Vehicles is resuming driving test services for 250 pending applicants starting today. The driving tests will be for individuals who were already scheduled for testing from March 2020 through May 2020, and BMV will contact the applicants to schedule the date and time. According to the Department of Public Safety, driving test schedules will be conducted on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, with a maximum of 50 tests per day. Payments must be made at the CNMI Treasury on Capitol Hill or Tax and Revenue in Dandan before turning in documents, as the BMV cashier window is still closed. The 250 pending driving tests must be administered before any new driving or written tests can be scheduled, in which the department will make an announcement. BMV office hours remain at Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 and from 1:30 to 3. $7 million has been released in child tax credit, and the Department of Finance is waiting on an additional $2.3 million from the IRS to pay out the remainder. As for the remaining tax refunds, Department of Finance Secretary David Adelig says he is looking to start releasing payments at the end of September. Although originally Adelig stated tax refund checks would be released mid-September, he says additional money is needed from a few funding sources before they can pay back the taxpayers.
I had to utilize a lot of different cash reserves or different accounts to deal with this pandemic, especially in the early stages of responding to the COVID-19 and task force needs. A lot of resources were used. I'm expecting obviously a reimbursement of close to $10 million from FEMA as the first batch. I'm also receiving the initial $5 million from the FEMA's community disaster loan, which was approved. We're just waiting for the deposit on that, as well as other FEMA reimbursements. We're expecting about a $6.2 million reimbursement from FEMA U2 expenses. Keep in mind, all these reimbursements are actual dollars that spent out of our general fund. And so these reimbursements are for activities that we obviously couldn't pay with general fund because it was used to take care of these disasters. Therefore, these reimbursements coming in will be reinstating different accounts that I had to access in order to make some of these.
Candidates under the Republican banner share their thoughts on a two-party system in the CNMI after decades. Sally Lemus reports.
The CNMI has been under one major political party for more than 10 years now, but this changes this year. Representative Lorenzo de Leon Guerrero, running for re-election, shares some thoughts on the two-party system comeback.
Finally, we're back to where we were before. And I can remember back then, when I was a child, there were two parties in the Commonwealth. One is the popular, and one was the territorial parties. And in essence, those two parties became what it is now, the Republican Democratic Party. So I welcome back the Democratic Party. It gives them an opportunity to showcase what they believe in and what the Republicans believe in as well.
De Leon Guerrero is running under the Republican banner and for Precinct 5. Another GOP candidate, Representative Joel Camacho, says a two-party system is good for the voters.
The more candidates, the better. Absolutely, the more candidates, the better. To show, like what Vice said also, was to showcase their beliefs. You know, the great thing about it is that it pushes us as candidates to absolutely pedal to the metal, do our best and showcase what we can do for our communities. You know, the pressure's on us, so it's us to show what we're made of and what we can do to give back to our communities.
Representative Camacho is also running for re-election in the House of Representatives for Precinct 4. I'm Sally Limis for KSPN News.
Thank you, Sally. All right, coming up, the KSPN2 Sports Report, a rather unique fishing tournament in keeping with the times.
Thank you for being here with us.
For finding ways to keep things happening.
For making things feel a lot better.
Thank you.
Energize, realize, feels so good just to be alive. Time's a gift, my time is free. I can spend it on you, you can spend it on me. I could say you'll be blown away by the change you see me. And I feel alright, dance all night, put a little flavor in my life.
Thank you for staying strong with us.
And for us.
Thank you for always connecting.
For keeping us together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding us
that despite this distance,
we are still better together.
Docomo Pacific. Better together.
The Tan Soo Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goat's Gym, and today we're going to go over the Kettlebell Deadlift. Fantastic exercise to build overall strength, particularly in the legs and hips. Remember, we want to make sure that our setup is in good position. If you set up in a bad position, it's not going to look good and it's certainly not going to feel good. So a common error setup is obviously a rounded upper back. Two simple ways of correcting that. All I'm gonna have Vince do here is extend his arms up here, and all he's gonna do is think about reaching long and pushing his hips back. Reach long and push your hips back. So as you can see, he's already in good position. Now all he's gonna do is grab that kettlebell. He's got tension in his legs and in his back. All he's gonna do is just stand up tall, finish with his glutes.
Did you know CNMI's coral reefs and seagrass ecosystems are worth about $115 million a year? Coral reefs alone are valued over $100 million a year. All the more reason these precious ecosystems must continue to be protected. Coral reefs are important to the people of the CNMI because they provide traditional and subsistence uses, production of commercial food products, recreational opportunities for a healthy tourist economy, and physical protection from storms. Do not break or collect coral to take home with you. We need them. Corals are living animals, and it takes decades to create reef structures. Planting trees, grass, and shrubs on bare soil helps prevent sediment from entering our oceans. Trees also help fight climate change. Use a rain barrel and collect water from roofs, yards, and paved surfaces. You can help keep storm water on your property and pollutants out of waterways by building a rain garden. The ocean floor isn't a dance floor. Stepping on corals can break them. Maintain buoyancy when snorkeling or diving. Nutrients from excess fertilizer increases algae growth that blocks sunlight to corals. Coral reefs need clean, clear water to survive. Help keep our beaches litter-free. always take out your own trash and a little bit more. Anchor in sandy areas away from coral and seagrass or use mooring buoys so the anchor and chain do not drag on nearby corals. Reduce, reuse, rethink, repair, refuse, recycle. Do not feed the fish. Do not take or step on coral. Do not collect shells. Do not fish. Help with local tree planting community events, local beach cleanups, and get involved in protecting your watershed. Participate in training or education programs that focus on reef ecology. You can make a difference. Please contact Nina to get involved in community conservation.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
Buenas sports fans, it's time to get with the times, and that's what the Spearfishing Association did with its virtual tournament. MASK. Any organization have a better acronym than the Marianas Apnea Spearfishing Club? I don't think so. These free divers use only MASK to spearfish. The club held a virtual tournament during the month of August, the Mamulan Cup, and their fish were posted on Facebook. J.R. Brell, he's the president.
Yeah, it went down, but we're picking it back up, and we're trying to fundraise and do more things for the kids out. You know, more events and pretty much derbies, and we want to go out and teach them, you know, the dangers of the sport that we're in, because this is not no normal sport. So that's our main focus, is safety.
They focused on Mamulan, or Trevally, or skipjack, length added to height as the criteria. Why did you do this tournament?
We did this tournament because, you know, we're going through this pandemic right now, and there's no way for us to gather up and do these derbies or anything really. So we found a way to do a derby. You know, the whole month of August, whoever catches the biggest Mamulan is going to win. And this is a good derby because you don't have to see nobody, you don't go to weighing station, no nothing. You just take a picture with your fish and a measurement with our password. The password's there for you to not cheat, basically.
JR won with this beauty. The organization not only eyes local competition, but also international.
Micronesian Games is like our Olympics for the Micronesia. But as nationally, I mean, a national team would be competing nationally, as in being invited to Australia, Europe, you know, those type of things. So right now we don't have a national team. Guam has a national team. They get invited to different countries to compete. And we would love to do that.
Brell is an experienced spear fisherman who knows firsthand the effects of the marine preservation areas around the island.
The conservation areas are good. We need them. We definitely need them to keep the fish population around. If we're able to go in there and take everything, then we won't have nothing. So I think we need it.
Our Facebook Fish of the Week, Dylan Cruz, who spearfished this wahoo. For that, we shout out, wahoo! Yahoo! Here's the windup and the pitch.
I don't believe what I just saw!
Go-karts, off-roading, and the driving range now open at Marianas Trekking. Go-kart track will be open Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays with 50% off when you book online at marianastrekking.com, hours 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Use the promo code HOFFA50 to get your discount. Off-roading is open too by reservation. Come on a 90-minute trail ride that is perfect for families. Book online, marianastrekking.com. Golfers, come practice on the driving range. You can even pay online, and we will have the balls waiting for you. Come see us weekends at Marianas Trekking, 323-8735. One of the best things you can do during the pandemic is to get yourself healthy and strong. Gold's Gym is a great place for a tune-up. Wide open workout spaces with dedicated cardio, free weights and machines, personal training, group exercise, and good nutrition. Short-term daytime promo on sale now, just $159 for 3 months. Call 233-4000.
Today's high only 87, and that was at noon, and it got cooler after that, below 79. Humidity 94%. Tomorrow partly cloudy, isolated showers, east winds 10 miles an hour, high 89, low 79. Seas are calm out there, 3 to 4 feet. Sunrise at 6:05, low tide at 2 past noon, and sunset at 6:18. That is Monday's news, sports, and weather. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday.